The Six-Day War was a heavily armed conflict between Israel and the Arab states of Syria, Egypt, and Jordan. In just 6 days, Israel took control of the Gaza Strip, the Sinai Peninsula, the Golan Heights, and the West Bank of the Jordan, all known to this day as the occupied territories. From beginning to end, the war lasted just 132 hours and 30 minutes, but the ramifications in the Middle East are still felt today. The 1967 war was a turning point in the region's history, and it was the year's main event. In the months leading up to June, relations between Israel and both Syria and Egypt were strained and hostile. There were clashes on the Syrian border, provoked by both sides. Syria feared that an invasion by Israel was imminent and appealed to Egypt for support. Egypt answered by ordering the withdrawal of United Nations peacekeeping forces from the Sinai Peninsula and Suez Canal area, closing the Straits of Tiran to all Israeli shipping. The Egyptian army moved around 100,000 troops and 1,000 armored vehicles into the Sinai Peninsula, massing on Israel's southern border. All of its 7 divisions were deployed, 4 infantry, 2 armored, and 1 mechanized unit. Negotiations began between Israel's defense minister, Moshe Dayan, and Jordan's King Hussein, but to no avail. It seemed a war between Israel and the Arab states was inevitable. By June, Egyptian, Syrian, and Jordanian troops had gathered on Israel's borders in preparation for an attack. Because Israel feared fighting on 3 simultaneous fronts, with Egypt, Jordan, and Syria, and because it preferred for fighting to take place on Arab rather than Israeli soil, Israel decided to strike first. The early morning attack on June the 4th, 1967, was aimed at destroying the maximum number of Egyptian aircraft on the ground. Coming from directions the Arabs had not anticipated, the surprise attack was a great success. Within just hours of the strike, Israel, who had focused the attacks on mainly military and air bases, had destroyed most of Egypt's combat aircraft. Israeli ground forces then moved into the Sinai Peninsula, where they fought Egyptian troops. Israel also held its ground against Jordan, which was attacking from the West Bank. Around 70,000 men, organized into 3 divisions, battled for their motherland of Israel, and the plan was to surprise Egyptian forces with timing, location, and fighting methods. Many Egyptian battalions remained intact and could have tried to prevent Israel from reaching the Suez Canal. However, the Egyptian Minister of Defense, on hearing of the fall of Abu Agalia on the Sinai Peninsula, ordered all units to retreat, effectively conceding defeat. The Israelis captured the Sinai Peninsula up to the Suez Canal. As the peninsula came under Israeli control, they turned their forces toward the Golan Heights. The Six-Day War ended on June the 10th, 1967, when Israel observed the UN-arranged ceasefire and halted their advance on Syria. Israel's victory was devastating to the Arab countries that had expected a swift victory. They not only failed to destroy Israel, but Israel was now in control of the Golan Heights, Sinai, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and, crucially, Jerusalem. Short, sharp, and bloody, the Six-Day War had a global effect that made the world see the Arab region in a different light. Israel had emerged as a major power in the Middle East.